Welcome to MacGyver's Workshop, where you never know what we're going to be working on next. If you're not too careful, you just might learn something.
Hi there, and welcome to MacGyver's Workshop, where you never know what we're going to be working on next, and if you're not too careful, you just might learn something. So today, we've got our 76 Cadillac, the Fleetwood 60 Series Brougham back for some more work. First thing we're going to start on is we've got to do some work on the front grille, and then finally we need to align the headlights, because the headlights, they're just pointing in all different random directions, like drastically so. You can look at the light and go, wow, that's crooked. So let's roll it in here and get started. So now what we're going to have to do to get this piece out, there's a broken piece here that I'll show a close-up of. We will get a look-see at some of the things that we are having to remove here to be able to get to the bolts that hold this thing in. There's one bolt here, and then there's a bolt way down at the bottom that you get at through here and here. But they have spacers or shims, and that's how you align this to get all your body lines right. So those shims are wrong, and I think probably some of the stress pulling down on it by there not being enough shims in there may have contributed to this breaking. But we're going to fix all that. But to do that, we're going to have to take this air horn thing out, the coolant overflow bottle, and probably at least this horn, if not more. And then we have to realign everything so that the trim lines up, and then we'll have to realign the bumper to get the gap correct, because right now it kind of tapers off. Interesting little bit of Cadillac trivia for you. The horn in this Cadillac actually plays a 4-note chord. Which is, I was blown away the first time I've heard that. Most of the time, your typical car will have a low tone and a high tone together. Just a useless bit of information there for you. But when you hear this thing, when you hear him blow this horn going down the road, okay, you know it's him. There's no mistaking it. I was at work one day and he drove by and blew the horn, and it's just unlike anything you've ever heard. All right, so we're going to get started on taking some of this stuff out. And we'll start by taking out this coolant reservoir. Undoing those bolts. This one, I think, is just a snap poppy clip thing. So I'll take this horn out. See where that leaves us. Leaves us enough room to get down in there. Yeah.
4 horns.
Yeah, that's crazy, isn't it? And get behind there and pop that thing out. There we go.
Wow.
Feels like there's one more thing holding it back here. And that is a 3/8. All right. That comes out of there nicely. think we can just roll this over here. And this was ultimately the battery box, another battery box, when they started coming out with a diesel engine in them.
Oh.
Yep. Now see if you can get down in there. Here's one of the bolts that holds it in there, and you can see they got shims under there. Those are body alignment shims, or alignment, like car alignment, front end alignment shims is what they're using. Okay. Now we go down after the other ones, which we're not going to be able to do that. We're going to have to push them forward. All right, and see if I can. Oh, there we go. Now I can see what I'm doing. Yeah, it was just really amazing the engineering that went into the designing this stuff. Okay. Now, we can gently work this out of here. We'll disconnect our headlight wires. Yep, and they can be stubborn. And you want to be careful. But sometimes they don't want to come off without a bit of a fight.
That's just because they've been on there so long.
Yeah, and they actually were designed to fit very tightly, and actually have little,
For vibrations and so forth.
yeah, springy type retainers on them, because they don't want
Oh, I see.
them coming disconnected when you're going down the road. Now we're going to have a little bit of work to do here. You can see where they had done some
Rigging.
field modifications, if you will. And this is why, and this one's missing completely over here. But this is why, if you look from the front here, okay, you'll see that, these headlights are just pointed off in a weird direction, okay, and obviously out of alignment. So that would blind the crap out of somebody coming the other way. And we're going to sort all that out, and we'll get this over here on the workbench. And now we're going to get this piece out, this other broken piece off. We're going to get that off over here. And we're going to have to come up with a way for that thing to sit where it wants to be, and then still be in line with everything, because when you go straining on it and pulling it, this happens and it breaks. And you see there's shims here too. So
Those are factory shims.
yeah, they use these same shims when doing a front end alignment.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, these are, you know, but so they work well for all kind of purposes. They come in all different thicknesses, and this is just 2, but you can get them in all kinds of thicknesses. The first thing we're going to have to do is get the little eye out of here. This is just a photo cell that will automatically dim your high beams when you're going down the road. They have a name for it, something eye or whatever, or it could be part of the Twilight Sentinel system too. Okay. Okay, let's see, how do we want to do this? Pull this out very gently. Yeah, look at that, isn't that cool? That's a photocell. Usually they degrade, photocells degrade over time, so I don't know if this actually works or not. We'll have to test it sometime. And then there's a little tiny bubble level there, and you actually have to adjust it and make sure it's looking straight ahead.
Huh.
Now let's get this intersection out of here. Okay. And I'll go out, I'll just go after this one. Well, no, I'm on the E extension. Okay, now we should be able to get that out of there. Let's see. There we go. Yeah, it's a little bit of finagle. Now you'll see these 2 brackets down here. You can grab that one and that one.
Yep.
Those are the threaded pieces that those bolts screwed into.
On the back side.
Yeah, and then those, yeah. All right, so what we're going to be doing here is we got to start disassembling this and get the headlamps out, because we're going to have to replace all the adjusters and all, which we had to order, so they're not going to be here till tomorrow, but that's okay. And then we can start working on this broken part right here. Once we get all these excess pieces off of here, this will be a little easier to work with. Now, you got this trim ring around here that's held on by these screws. We're going to go ahead and take those out, and that way then Mark will get busy polishing them up, making them look spiffy. This is stuff even on a detail job that you wouldn't be able to really do. Now this piece here is made out of pot metal. So it's not fiberglass, maybe later models they are, but this is all pot metal here. It makes it kind of easier in a way, because we've got room underneath in here to where we can rivet or bolt a new bracket in there to hold the top of this in place. And then of course the reason this headlight was all cocked off caterwonky is because the plastic inserts for the adjusters are broken, and they won't hold the headlight against the little spring that's over here. Now you also have 4 screws on these little stainless trim rings that actually hold the bulbs into the headlight buckets. I'm just going to crack these loose here. My guess is that these headlights are really, really old. So see, that ring comes out. And there's your sealed beam bulb. I think that's a, what, 4651 is what that is. We'll set that aside out of the way here. It's possible, could very well be. Let me get that one out of there. I don't know if those kind of bulbs have any value or not, but who knows. All right, so what we're going to do here is we're going to run these screws right on out of here. I don't even know if that'll, let's see if that'll let us out. Plastic here that these things sit in is so perished. It's kind of crazy, really. The pieces are broken off of them. All right, let's get this other one out of here. Oh, see somebody. Yeah, you can see somebody trying to do a field fix on this one, and probably didn't know that you can order them from O'Reilly's. You may not have them in stock, but you can usually get them from the warehouse. And see, you want to see this here? This says Cadillac 60 SAE. So that's your 60 series. So I know you were saying these are all the same, but I wonder if this is if it's unique to the 60 series.
Yeah, but I wonder about this being circular, other than, I mean, was there?
They may have. Well, you know, the earlier models had the round headlights.
That's what I'm thinking.
But I think this is kind of circular because it needs to be bowl shaped so that this can pivot back and forth.
I see.
But it was easy when the headlights were round, but
Yeah.
you know. We're going to start working on fixing this here, and we will use the broken piece as a guide, and it's kind of bent up, so I'm going to straighten it in the vise here, and I think I'm going to come over here to the good old-fashioned vise, and it is pot metal, so you want to be careful and not crack it, because it will crack. We got that nice and straight now. Now we have that there. Now there's no way we could glue that in. We don't want to braze it because we don't want to burn the paint up on this. So what we'll do is we'll come up with an L bracket. So seeing he's happy, he wants to be polishing all his chrome up, I'll take all these other bits off of here and give them to him, because we're gonna have to realign all this to get our body lines right anyway. So he might as well have fun polishing this stuff all up if he wants. That makes this just a little less unwieldy to work with. And then I guess what we'll need to do, we're going to need to chuck this up in the vise, and we'll work from there. Okay, so what we're going to do here is I've cut 2 pieces out of some scrap metal I've got, because we're going to do the other side as well, because it has just some bracket they found and rigged in there, and it doesn't look very good. So for the sake of symmetry, if you will, we'll go ahead and make 2 of these, And really, we're not going to be too special about it. We're just going to take and we've got to get, we got a little bit of a rise right here, and then we make our 90 to go straight up. So what I'm going to do is I'll have, you know, a bend right here, and I'm going to have another little bend back here, and then right about here I'll make my 90. So I just need to bend this a little bit to allow for my riser. This is like 16 gauge steel. Now I haven't, these are angled here, but that's just because of the scrap. These will probably be cut like right about here somewhere or something. Then we go back like this, just a smidge here. And how you do this is you will use you would use a big flat chisel, which I've got around here somewhere. Okay, now I have my chisel. And we just start in the center. Alright, and we're going to bend this. You got to make sure you're at a 90-degree angle to your piece. You want to make sure that this is straight in here so that it looks right when you're done. And then we just take her over. And now I'm gonna hope and pray I did that right, because it's easy to get it backwards. Oh yeah. I love it when I win. All right. I'm gonna take this back just a smidge. Oh yeah. You can see that, you know, and you got your little riser right here. We just need to figure out what our height is going to be. So we will put our piece back in here. Can I borrow you for a second?
Yep.
All right, I just need you to make a mark for me with this Sharpie. And it doesn't have to be perfect, but just trace across this, trace across the top of this pot metal bracket right here. Give me an idea of where I need to cut. Hang on, I gotta fix this now. It doesn't let it slip. All right, go ahead. There you go. All right. And that way we know where we need to cut this, and then we'll make our hole, and we'll kind of make it oblong like the original one was, so you have adjustment. And that will be one of our brackets. And we'll just cut her down to size. All right. And we'll clean this up with a angle grinder, and we'll go ahead and round off these corners here so they're not sharp and pokey. And yeah, so let's do that. Take all our sharp edges off here. Now I'm going to show you how you cut an oblong hole if you don't have like a Bridgeport or a milling machine. So we will take and trace out our hole, okay, and then what we do is we drill a hole here and we drill a hole here, and then you just cut out what's in the middle and clean it up with a file, and it'll look just like that. This is the side that needs to look decent, because that's what you're going to see. And then you're going to have one of these in there. So now just got to make one more, and then we'll paint them up and cure them in the oven.